The summer is just around the corner, which obviously means that science-based grifters are out to take advantage of as many normies as possible. And to be honest, nobody does it better nowadays than our 7 million subscriber friend, Jeremy Eater. I don't know. His newest video called "It's Tough, but it gets you abs in 60 days" is one of the most manipulative and just light-filled fitness videos I've seen in a while. So, you know your boy Zoorp had to call out the BS in this video, including one study that Jeremy just blatantly misrepresents and basically lies about. Enjoy your food, Zoorplings, and let's get into this mess.
This is how much fat Luke has to lose to get six-pack abs. And this is how much fat his wife Nicole has to lose for her abs to pop. For most people, this could take anywhere from 6 months to over a year. But I'm testing out a plan that should get them abs in a fraction of the time.
This crayon-eating bastard thinks that people don't cut in 60 days because they don't know how to, instead of just, preferring a longer cut, because it means you get to have more food, it means you get to have more energy, and it's easier to stick with it for a long run. It's easier to keep it off after you lose the weight. For an average person that has a job that's not being an athlete, longer cuts are just generally better. That's why people don't do it in 60 days, Jeremy. Also, I just like how we went from Mike Chang and six-pack shortcuts right back to fucking six-pack shortcuts in 60 days. Editor, put the meme of the guy kick-flipping a shovel just to hit himself in the face. It's basically that. I mean, oh my god. We've just come full circle. But Zoorplings, you know how this goes by now. This video just continues to get dumber from this point. So hold on to your seats because your brain cells might leave the room.
And for most guys, you don't start to see clear ab definition until you're below 20%. And depending on how thick your abs are, you'll start to see a full visible six-pack around 15% and below.
Thank you so much for the AI slop, Jeremy. Body fat pictures are already an approximation. So this is like an approximation of an approximation, just AI slopified. You can just tell Jeremy has been hanging out with Mike Gizzard a little bit too much.
Luke, your current body fat percentage is 29.2%.
Holy crap.
Two things here. First of all, I think my man is legitimately slightly under 29%. I think he's closer to like 27%, but that's just using my laser eyes. Those could be off as well. We also can't see his legs. And this is obviously a bit manipulative because it would make his transformation look even more extreme near the end of the video. But the second thing is this 29.2 bullshit, okay? They probably used the DEXA scan to get his results. And as we all know by now, the DEXA scan can be as much as 10% off. It's not accurate at all. I mean, even the MRI, which is the golden standard, has an error rate between 1 to 4%. So not even the MRI can give you a 0.2% reading that's actually reliable. So you might ask yourself, why is this crayon eating bastard using 29.2% instead of just saying 29% like a normal person? Well, because Jeremy wants to roleplay being a scientist. He's not a real scientist. He just plays one in his YouTube videos, and saying 29.2% makes his video sound more accurate and scientific and precise, and like all of this is some real science that he's breaking down. Like this is some knowledge that he has over the regular viewer. It's just a manipulation tactic because Jeremy cares more about how he's perceived and about selling app memberships rather than actually explaining these concepts to the average viewer so they can actually educate themselves on the matter and apply some of these things practically. But Zoorplings, the video gets even more manipulative from this point on, and it gets manipulative in some very sneaky ways, might I add.
Research from Dr. Eric Helms shows that the sweet spot is losing about 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week. Now for me personally, I like to stay right in the middle, around 0.7% of my body weight per week, but Luke wants to get abs as fast as possible. So we're gonna try to push it. We're setting his target at 0.9% per week.
Does this crayon eater think you can actually target 0.9% over 1%? What's the fucking difference? Just target 1%. It's so much. Oh my god, I hate the science-based lifting community so much. Just say 1%, 0.9%. It's the same with the protein debate. Oh, is it 1 gram per pound of body weight or is it 0.97 grams? Like, holy shit, just eat 1 gram per pound of body weight. It's not that hard. Stop complicating it for people. The difference is literally negligible. That was a valid crash out, but the video just gets me angry, okay? It's so stupid, and it continues to get even more stupid the deeper we get into it.
If Luke builds muscle while dieting, which is absolutely possible when things are dialed in, his body fat percentage will drop even faster. Meaning, he could start seeing visible abs in as little as 60 days, and might be able to get closer to 15% body fat by the end of the 90 days.
Building muscle while losing fat is definitely possible, but not in every situation. The situations this applies to is like if you're recomping, which means that if you already had a lot of muscle and then you stop training for, let's say, 2 years and you come back to training, you will rebuild that muscle very quickly and very easily. And if you're overweight as well, you can lose fat and regain that muscle at the same time. This also applies to complete newbies that have never been to the gym. You can build muscle and lose fat at the same time relatively easily. And this just gets like a 5x combo breaker if you're a newbie in the gym and you're like extremely overweight, like 40% body fat or something. You can lose fat very quickly and build muscle at the same time because your body has just so much energy stored in the fat. You will be fine during a cut. Now, this guy in in this video is a cop. He already has some muscle, as you can see on his frame. And as we will see from his strength test, this guy has like some decent like body weight strength. Like he did 40 push-ups and like 14 pull-ups. So this guy is not a complete newbie and he doesn't have that much fat to lose. So I don't know what delusion Jeremy's under that this guy is gonna like cut down 30 pounds and gain like 5 pounds of muscle. Like Jeremy's reaching levels of crayon eating that have never been seen before in the fitness space.
In the next 90 days, if you can get to 20% or below, and Nicole, if you can get to 25% or below, I'm gonna send you both on an all-inclusive trip to Mexico.
No way.
The video is called It's Tough But It Gets You Abs in 60 Days, and then the challenge is to get down to 20% body fat in 90 days. First of all, you're not gonna see many abs at 20%. For some guys, maybe you won't see abs at all at 20%, depending on your body fat distribution. But also, that's 90 days. That's not 60 days. This video is just like complete clickbait. Holy fuck, Jeremy.
But there's a problem. Luke and Nicole both work rotating day and night shifts in nursing and law enforcement.
So just remember this line, this girl works as a nurse and this guy works as a cop. Just keep this information in mind for the next following clips because they're not gonna make any sense.
Which is why for Nicole and Luke, I built them both a 4-day workout split using our Built with Science Plus app that'll hit every single muscle, using 2 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts per week.
So let's think about this real quick. First of all, I love a 4-day-a-week split, okay? I think that's great. If you're doing it, keep doing it. But let's think about it specifically in this case for these people. We are talking about a nurse and a cop. These people have jobs that are pretty active. They're on their feet a lot. They don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of energy to work out. They're not bodybuilders, okay? And on top of all of this, they're already in a deep calorie deficit. So let's look at 2 scenarios here. First scenario, they're both newbies. They've never been to the gym. They never lifted a weight in their life, which we obviously know is false because the cop guy obviously can do like 40 push-ups and 15 pull-ups or whatever. But let's say they never lifted a weight before. A 2-day per week program will still build them a lot of muscle as newbies, okay? Because when you're a newbie, literally anything builds you muscle. So if you had 2 full body workouts per week, it's going to build you muscle and it's gonna be great. Now, if you look at the cop guy, it's already clear that we're in scenario number 2, which means that this guy already has some muscle that he's trying to maintain during the cut. And again, for maintenance, 2 days per week, low volume, high intensity is perfect. He's gonna maintain all of his muscle if he keeps his protein in check, and he's gonna be in the gym 2 days per week, which means he has more time to recover and just enjoy life and like manage the diet fatigue that happens when you're in a calorie deficit. So it just seems to me that Jeremy just blatantly threw out a generic 4-day per week program because he just doesn't know anything. He just never trained anybody in his life and he doesn't know how to tailor programs to specific clients. I mean, this is just another gigantic crayon eating moment from Jeremy right here, just showing how little he knows actually.
And on day 1, I tested their max push-ups and pull-ups. So by the end of the transformation, we'll see if they got any stronger.
Again, another gigantic crayon eating moment. This absolute moron is testing them in a body weight exercise. So let's think about this just for 1 second because apparently this is too hard for Jeremy to understand. If you maintain your strength, meaning you don't get any stronger at all or you don't put on any new muscle, you just maintain the strength that you have, but you lose 30 pounds, that means that you're lifting 30 pounds less with the same amount of strength. And in body weight exercises, where the only thing that you're lifting is your body weight, this means you're gonna be able to do a few more reps, okay? Like think about this if it was a lat pull down. If you're sitting there on set 1 and you're doing 10 reps with 180 pounds, and then on the next set, your friend puts in 130 pounds, you're gonna be able to do like 20 reps, okay? So either Jeremy picked these specific exercises to manipulate the results and make it seem more impressive to the average person, like, look, these people increase their pull-up numbers and their push-up numbers while also losing weight. They've gained strength while losing weight. Or he's just that much of a crayon eater that he doesn't understand how weight loss impacts body weight exercises. I genuinely don't know which one of these 2 it is.
And this chase brings us to the final component of Luke and Nicole's plan, cardio. But rather than going all out, I actually want the majority of their cardio to look like this.
Walking on flat ground at a moderate pace is not cardio for anybody under 400 pounds, Jeremy. That is not cardio, that is activity, okay? Learn the difference, crayon eater.
I've been trying to do oatmeal recently.
I just wanted to include this because I found the sentence, I'm trying to do oatmeal recently, with sad dramatic music in the background, really funny. That's it, I have nothing more to add to this clip.
So far, Nicole has been struggling with hunger and cravings. And as this challenge intersected with the holidays, she was finding it really challenging to stay on target whenever they got together with the family.
This clip leads to one of the biggest crayon eating moments in this video, but also wanted to just say, Jeremy, do you realize now why people don't cut in 60 days? Because managing starvation is kind of hard, okay? When you're in a deep calorie deficit for 90 days and you're working as a nurse, it's just not pleasant. This is why people take sometimes 6 months, 9 months, maybe even a year to cut down slowly and properly with diet breaks and like a moderate deficit. This is why people don't do it in 60 days, Jeremy. Do you understand now? Anyways, let's get to one of the biggest crayon eating moments in this entire video.
And this is where I think women actually do have it harder than guys. Not only is Luke 40 pounds heavier heavier than Nicole, but he's also carrying an additional 30 pounds of muscle, which helps speed up his metabolism, which just gives him a lot more flexibility with managing his meals. And this difference only became clear on weekends when Luke was able to budget his calories to order his favorite pizza, while Nicole had to spend 45 minutes making a lower calorie alternative just to stay on target.
Here we have Jeremy, the white knight, fighting for women's rights. Listen, you dumbass. This guy does have 30 pounds more muscle and he's heavier, which does mean he has more calories to eat. But guess what? He also needs more calories to stay full. And she could have also had the pizza, but instead of eating the whole fucking pizza, she could get like 2 or 3 slices, have been full, and, you know, enjoy the nice pizza. Has Jeremy ever eaten with a woman? Like, you order food on a Saturday night, you finish your meal in like 2 minutes, and she's over there nibbling her 2 slices of pizza while scrolling TikToks while a K-drama plays in the background, and then after 45 minutes, she asks you, hey, can you finish this for me? I'm kind of full. It's like a car. I mean, just look at this. This Hummer H1 has a huge gas tank, and this Toyota hybrid has a smaller gas tank. Oh no, you can fit more gas in the Hummer, right? Yeah, but this Hummer fucking guzzles gas. This Toyota can go further on less gas because it's more efficient and smaller, has a 3-cylinder engine. It's the same with humans. You get it. I don't need to explain this to you, right? Everybody gets this other than Jeremy, right? But I'm afraid to say it, this is not even the dumbest moment in this video. Like, it continues to get dumber from here.
Lack of sleep could honestly double how long it'll take them to get abs. That's because when researchers wanted to test the impact of sleep on fat loss, they divided subjects into an 8-hour sleep group and a sleep-deprived group who slept only 5.5 hours per night. Now, both were placed in a small calorie deficit, and they ended up losing a similar amount of weight over the course of the study. And none of the subjects were trained, so we would expect them to lose some muscle. But here is the kicker. For the 8-hour sleep group, roughly half of the weight they lost was from fat, with the other half coming from lean mass. But in our sleep-deprived group, 75% of the weight they lost came from lean mass, with their fat loss actually cut in half.
And here we get into the biggest lie of this video, this fucking study. So I'm gonna break this study down for you because Jeremy apparently doesn't want you to read it for yourself because it basically discredits everything that he says. And don't think this is just Jeremy, this is basically every science-based grifter. The first big red flag that we see is there's only 10 participants in this study, and the study was only ran for 14 days. Now, look at the participants as well. It's 10 overweight, non-smoking adults, 3 women and 7 men, so we don't even have all men or all women, and the average age was 41, which means the men were past their prime in terms of testosterone production, which means muscle mass is gonna go down anyways. So when you take everything into account, this study is only useful for wiping your fucking ass when you run out of toilet paper. You have a small sample size of only 10 people, not all of them were men or women, so you can't even split them up into equal groups. They were 40, which again passed their prime, and they didn't even do any strength training, which we now know is one of the most important things if you're trying to maintain muscle on a cut. Jeremy and most of these science-based grifters are just humans with zero integrity. They just want to make themselves appear as an authority, they want to look smart on camera, and they want to manipulate people, which is why they show these studies, they gloss over all of the red flags, and they never mention them because they just hope that people will not go out of their way to Google the study because, again, they don't link them in the description. Jeremy has no integrity as a human. The video gets even more manipulative after this point. So he retests their body fat and weight at the middle of the challenge at day 45, and keep this in mind because this is one of the biggest tricks, this is one of the biggest sleights of hand that Jeremy pulls in this video, so just keep these numbers in mind when we get to the end results of this video.
I just feel very bloated and gross. So I asked Jeremy, personally him, and asked his AI on his app as well. So he said probably water retention, the timing of like maybe when I was eating a lot of the pizza, like the carb overload, which was last night.
People that don't know anything about AI, let me tell you, Jeremy does not have his own AI model. He's just using somebody's AI model. You can basically get the same effect if you go to Claude or Gemini and just tell it, hey, act as my personal fitness trainer in the little thing that says like personalize. It's the same fucking thing, okay? So there you go. And it's probably better because it runs on their servers, you know? But here we're getting to the final results, and here's where the manipulation tactic comes in. Listen to this carefully.
Before bringing them in for their final DEXA scans, I actually asked them both to spend the next 30 days maintaining their current shape. And so for Nicole, this means adding an extra 300 to 400 calories back to her diet. And for Luke, an extra 500. Now the goal here is for their body weight to stabilize rather than continue decreasing or increasing.
This sleazy crayon-eating bastard thinks he can trick me with these day one tricks. I see right through your lies, Mr. Jeremy. Remember, he tested their body fat percentage on day 45 when they were in the middle of their cut. And when you're cutting, you're eating less carbs. And carbs are, you know, what fills your glycogen stores. For every gram of glycogen, you store 3 grams of water. So your muscles look fuller, you know, you look bigger. And on a DEXA scan, it just shows up as more muscle. So guess what he had them do? He tested them in the middle of the cut when their glycogen was depleted, making it look like they had less muscle. And then he told them to eat at maintenance for 30 days, meaning they increased their carbohydrate intake, meaning they refilled their fucking glycogen stores. So when they do their final DEXA scan, it looks like they gained muscle compared to day 45. This fucking sleazy little bastard thinks I wouldn't notice this. That's why he had them sit in maintenance for 30 days.
Compared to day 1, Luke lost 25 5 pounds of fat while gaining 5 pounds of lean mass, with Nicole losing 20 pounds of fat and gaining 3 pounds of lean mass.
In the final 90-day transformation pictures, we have the classic Alex Jones before and after. On the left, he slouched over, he blew out all the air, he made his belly look larger, not flexing. And in the second photo, he apparently has the most perfect posture in the world. His abs are slightly flexed, his arm is slightly flexed as well. I mean, it's just the classic making him look way worse in the before photo and then just actually making him look a little bit better than what he actually looks like in the after photo. We're right back to six-pack shortcuts. It's like we never left. Zorplings, if you enjoyed this video, watch this one where I go over Mike Israel's cutting diet because it's one of the saddest things I've ever watched. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love that one as well. So watch that, and I'll see you Zorplings in the next one. Zoorp out.